How's it doing, guys? This is the Critic Corp. I am Toke, aka Malcolm, and we're doing a discussion on Black Adam. I am accompanied by my co-host Jordan and your boy Chef Clockett. Uh, that's gonna stick with me forever, bro. Chef Clockett. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, we might end up having a cook with Chef Clark special one day.
That's gonna stick with me forever, bro.
Uh,
Oh shoot! But back to Black Adam. Yeah, it was the graphics, the action scenes was so like A1. They were top tier. They were phenomenal. Doctor Fate was fire. Um,
so happy we finally got a Dr.
Kent,
Fate, bro.
Kent Nelson, my bad. Let me say his real name. Can't expose him like that. You know. But Dr. Fate was fire. The story, the plot itself, dialogue, it wasn't really one. It was just, you know, it was just there, a scenery in a city, enslaved. Then they show 5,000 years. Fast forward, niggas not
Yeah.
enslaved. That's
It was
all.
just action after action, pretty much.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing really tremendously important about the story, but besides the ending with him and his son, uh,
Yeah.
Tate Adam. That threw me off. I really thought it was his son. I know. I didn't think it was the dad that got the powers. I thought it was his son. Who was it? Herat or Herat?
Harut.
Haru.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Harut. Yeah, Harut. Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was the one who sure got the powers, but besides
That's what I
that,
was thinking too, man. It because the whole time, like they led up to it, and he did in fact have the powers, but he transferred them.
To be
yeah,
honest, I kind of saw it coming just because when you see at the very beginning, the guy's head that you never see his face
it looks
looks
different.
just like the fucking rock. It's just his body
Yeah.
smaller. That's
I
the only
thought it
thing
was
that
gonna
Although
be him too,
I thought you
but
were talking about the statue. The statue didn't look like the Rock. I noticed that as the story went on.
no, I'm
I
talking
was like,
about like the very beginning, the flashback when you only see the back of the guy's head. It looks like the rock's fucking head.
yeah,
yeah, oh yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely looked
That
like
was
the
almost so
Rock.
weird.
But I thought like he turned into like an adult version, which in turn looked like his dad. So it was just gonna be
Yeah,
like two versions of the Rock we got.
The
yeah,
only other thing that pointed in that direction is because from Black Adam's backstory, his son dies, and that's part of the reason for the guy's rage. So I was
yeah,
like, so where does his son come into play here? Because you've only
Yeah,
shown him as a boy. So yeah, it was kind of, if you know about the comic and stuff beforehand, you can kind of see it coming. But at the end of the day, it's not like this is the most well written movie in the world. To be honest, to me, this is a fucking awful movie held together by awesome moments, great action, and the actors were great in this. Key standouts: Aldous Hodge, Pierce Brosnan, and obviously Dwayne Johnson. They're all charismatic. They have some fun with their characters. I I had a good time with this. Don't know necessarily if it'll stick in my head for a super long time, but it was a fun time at the movies, especially seeing it on the Super EMAX, the biggest screen around.
such a good theater,
It,
bro.
it was a
yeah. It was
fun
clean on
action.
there.
No,
Yeah,
I love seeing Nobu on screen, man. I've been waiting for him for a long time. I would just like I'm talking about Dr. Fate for you guys that don't know that Nobu is Dr. Fate. But the actor that played him, what's his
Pierce
name?
Brosnan.
Jordy. Yeah, phenomenal. I couldn't have cast him better. He slayed the role. I loved it. I
I
thought Dr. Fate's suit looked magnificent.
Oh, it looked perfect.
Like
I
it was
thought
just really exciting seeing him along with some of the other members of the Justice Society on camera. Adam Smasher is hilarious,
bro,
bro.
that confused me so hard, bro. I really thought that was the Adam. I'm like, bro, why are they
Yeah,
calling
no,
him Adam?
Atom Smasher grows, the Atom shrinks,
What difference does that, like, bro?
but they're the same colors.
I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
I thought the two weakest characters were probably like in terms of the heroes and stuff were Adam Smasher and Cyclone. I thought Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Black Adam, all had a little bit more to do. The only other character that might have annoyed me, that did annoy me more, was the kid. That kid's storyline was so annoying to me. And the fact that we were back to the late 90s, early 2000s with the constant fucking skateboard. Dude, this man was ride or dying with that skateboard.
oh, it just
It
it killed me. It killed me how he wasn't
was
and
like Back to the
how he
Future.
how he woke up in his bed and he just started just rambling on and on about all these superheroes, trying to get him to become one, and just
Like,
comparing him to this and that and naming all his fucking attributes and shit. He's like,
Mhm.
bro, he's just trying to tell this man, like, bro, I'm not a hero.
Dude,
slicing the Flash poster though.
I'm
Yeah,
making a
bro.
drinking game for
Perfect.
this movie, though. Whenever this man says, I'm not a hero, I'm not a good guy, or something like that, dude, you would be absolutely tanked by the end of this movie. If I have to
Or,
hear The Rock say, I'm not a good guy one more fucking time, I will lose it.
or to tell the guy
Yeah.
from tell the man in black. I said,
All right, that was funny. I will admit that
That
little
was
bit that they had going
hilarious.
throughout was hilarious.
he
He
tried.
finally
He
got the
tried.
timing though.
What was the body
Uh,
count in this movie?
oh
I
my,
want to know that.
oh
Oh
my.
man,
It was
Because at
probably
the very beginning, he's wrecking shop on
dude,
mercenaries.
so much death.
bro. All those soldiers that he killed in the tomb, bro. I don't even. Yeah, he had bodies on bodies for sure.
I like when the one dude's just falling and he's like, "You're Dr. Fate." Go, did you kill him? He goes, he didn't make it.
And then
I
when he
thought
had
everybody's powers were also really well portrayed in this. Like,
they were
Black
they were better portrayed in this movie than they were in Shazam. I'll tell you that.
yeah,
or
because
just
you see Black Adam use like his entire strength and everything. Dr. Fate's powers were sweet. Hawkman was awesome. Even when you get to see Adam Smasher use his powers, they're really cool. The only one that I was iffy on was Cyclone, and it wasn't because of the actress or the character itself.
The CGI for it.
Yeah, the CGI for that, I don't know if all the other budget was spent elsewhere, but when it came to her powers, it looked bad.
yeah,
She was
it
just a blur the whole time.
was blurry. Yeah,
Yeah, it was not clean at all.
Like I get you have to show like speed and everything, but even in the like their slowed down motions, she was still blurry as fuck. And Black Adam, when he was going like super speeding around, was cleaner.
yeah. When they came and ambushed the headquarters or whatever.
Yeah.
All
He
right,
just came. They was like, we need a plan. He just went in murking, bro.
can
Yeah.
I do a
Uh,
quick little thing though? So you know how in the Avengers they're always talking about the Avengers lunchbox, all this like different promotional stuff, right? But that's after like all these huge events have happened, like on a global scale and everything. How the fuck in this country way far away eh, that obviously I forget what the name of the place is, Candor or something. Nonetheless, they have Wonder Woman, they have the Flash, they have Batman, they have all these different posters and stuff. But at no point so far have I really felt like any of these superheroes are out in the public eye. Like the only times have really been in Peacemaker and this, and I kind of want to know, like, because I don't think it was just the Justice.
You saw
League.
like the Superman shirts and everything at the end of like Batman versus Superman and Suicide Squad.
That was more of a global thing. But like Batman, Flash, and Wonder Woman, they were more secretive with their identities and everything, and not out.
So it just peaked off somehow randomly.
The only time that you've really seen Batman, even in public or anything, would have been the
Bruce Wayne.
Doomsday thing, which even then you probably hardly saw him in the news footage or anything.
And the only other thing would be the Justice League.
Which again, that was all in secret. Like the only time that it was seen was in that sewer or like in that one abandoned city in Russia.
And hardly anyone really knows that the Flash exists at this time.
Do you see what I mean though? Like there's got to be some more adventures or some like other things that have happened along the way, and I kind of want to see what's been going on behind the scenes because I feel like they're making it seem like they're already at Avengers level things with the Justice League and stuff. But
when does the Flash movie come out if it doesn't get canceled?
It comes out next summer in July, I believe, June or July.
So at that point, we'll have to see that like he's heavily advertised. Like he's not just like.
Did we see any Aquaman? Did anybody see any Aquaman in that room?
No, I didn't see any Aquaman.
I didn't either. I don't think. I think I only saw Superman, Batman, The Flash, and
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
We never saw Cyborg either. I don't think.
It was Cyborg.
I'll have to rewatch the movie because we may have missed it, but those are the 4 that I caught. But
yeah,
it seems weird to me at this point because even in Shazam when he has the Batarang, like they're making it seem like these people are like well known throughout the world.
Well, everyone knows about the Batman. That's been well known because he's at the end of his career.
I mean, everybody know about
just a myth in Batman v Superman. Like they were discussing whether he was real or not. So he was still secretive and everything. It's not like in
their whole timeline is so fucked with this universe, and
I don't even know where we are because in this one they had those speeder bikes or whatever.
From
Intergang. Like it seems like
Honda. Intergang, by the way. Sorry, I don't want to like cut you off, but I don't want to forget that Intergang finally being involved is awesome.
But that was.
But it doesn't make sense in the timeline.
It was set futuristically, but I mean, he did what? It was 5,000 years. They said it was set back or set. So, I mean, it could for sure. I mean, everybody know about Superman, the boy that came from that flies in the sky. You know.
Oh, I mean, everybody. Like I said, Superman is known globally at this point because they were even doing the whole thing at Congress in Batman v Superman. So that one I can believe. It's just everybody else, like when Diana has been kept secret even since like fucking
she exposed herself
before she was in that mall.
I mean, she's been around.
But she exposed herself in the mall and before
19
like with Justice League, right? But in the Justice League time frame, she was already out there. Like people knew she existed.
I'm curious to see how this is all going to end up tying together because I feel like we don't really have a clear consensus on like where each one of these movies falls in the timeline because
this has been my problem with DC.
They do bleed over into each other, but you don't get to necessarily acknowledge the events that have happened in the other movies. Like they talk about the blip, they talk about like these different events that have happened in the MCU. But as of right now in the DCU, I don't feel like I feel like there's something more to this where they aren't acknowledging like the blending of the events because I feel like this Flash movie upcoming is going to be obviously Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Like how everybody has been saying. And I feel like we're going to find out that this may not be all in the same universe and we might have a crisis event.
I would like that so much more because if this is all in the same universe, then like I hate to say it, but it proves like what I've been telling you about DC for like when we used to work together a couple of years ago.
Dude,
that's why Marvel movies were better than the DC movies because they jumped their timeline. Like you never really knew what was going on in their timeline.
Yeah.
You want to know the funny thing?
Just like with the wizards too, they had all them wizards, and then they only showed one wizard in Shazam.
Yeah, so what happened to all like?
Well, it shows
We knew they
him
died out,
killing a
but-
majority of them.
Yeah.
I get they had to come together. They had to band together to stop Black Adam, but like they only showed the one wizard.
And then again, why is Shazam not shown at all? Or like the Shazam kids being now like the future wizards?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just jump to that part of the movie real quick as well, since we're talking about the Shazam thing
Yeah.
and the bleeding together of the DCU. Henry Cavill's back as Superman. Post-credit scene.
So happy we saw him, but I wish Shazam was shown. It would have made more sense.
I think that this was them acknowledging that, like, instead of it being a part of this actual movie, I think it was more of a wink and nod that Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman. Like, that is solidified. It's no longer a rumor. He is still Superman. I think they're gonna move forward with the DCU as it was, but I think we're heading in a different direction. Obviously, you did get some Zack Snyderisms in this with all the slow-mo shots and everything, but I think that this Flash movie upcoming is really going to change what direction that the DC universe is heading, because
wherever they head, Ezra shouldn't be a part of it.
I don't.
This for sure is gonna be his last movie. They gotta finish it because he already started.
Can they just CGI his face with somebody new? Like put all their budget into it. They should start a GoFundMe for that. I bet you they'll get a lot.
Oh God. Let's get back to Black Adam. So for the post credit scene, you see Amanda Waller threatening Black Adam, and she says something along the lines of, "You're the smart or the most powerful being on this planet." As The Rock has been saying in every single one of his interviews lately. And he says to send them all, and lo and behold, Henry Cavill's Superman pops up in a little bit more colorful of a suit for everybody that was complaining about the original suit. I didn't think it was different than the original one, and then Malcolm pointed it out to me, and I did notice there is a little bit more color added to this one.
Yeah, they changed.
And he has a little bit of that Superman curl up front. I don't know if you guys see that as
I noticed that.
Like, okay, Henry.
I see that little curl.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Don't know it.
Perfect Superman.
Man, I had my mom make my hair into that curl for years as a kid. I'll recognize that shit till I die.
I noticed.
Perfect Superman. I just went back home, watched Man of Steel last night. That Man of Steel is still my favorite DCEU movie. Like, part of this universe, I think Man of Steel easily takes it.
For this universe, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
it's the most well-written story, start to finish.
Aquaman was good too.
Aquaman was good, but I think Man of Steel is one of my favorite comic book movies ever. Like, I think it was damn near perfection. Like, that whole flight scene with Superman is still one of my top 5 comic book scenes ever in a movie.
Literally, man. He did good as Superman. I'm glad they brought him back. As far as like going on, I need them to tie in because isn't it supposed to be like a triple brawl between him, Shazam, and Black Adam at some point?
Yes.
I feel like if we do get Black Adam and Superman, though, that'll be like either Man of Steel 3 or Black Adam 3. Because I feel like the following movie, it's going to be Black Adam and Shazam. Even though they did hint at Superman being here, it's going to be Black Adam and Shazam. Because how do you follow up Black Adam and Superman with Shazam at that point? Like, people I don't think would be as invested in that. But if you were to get Black Adam and Shazam and they do their battle or whatever, and then do Superman and progress that way, I could see them being really successful with that.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah, because the main wizard, like I said, he chose that little kid to be Shazam. And
Billy Batson.
Yeah, in the little train tracks in the little what was it? Like the little sub. It was like a little
subway.
Yeah, the subway. So, and they showed in the beginning, they chose his son. They chose Tef Adams' son with the powers, specifically because of his whole perspective in mind. They that's why they band together to stop the dad. He wanted just revenge.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
kind of curious where their story goes now, though, because he's not really like evil, but
yeah, he's not.
he's not good. He's just the protector of the city now.
Yeah,
So
protector.
how is he going to turn to a villain, or how are they going to make him a villain to where he's going to need to battle Superman or
The only
Shazam?
thing with me right now is since like the early 2000s with the comics, Black Adam hasn't necessarily been a villain. They've made him more like a Victor Von Doom, where he has this country that he's super protective of, and he's more of an anti-hero.
Yeah,
Which you could tell that's the angle that they're trying to go with this. But there's going to be a conflict, I believe, that does draw them to go blow to blow with each other. But I did like that angle. I think it worked because you do see Black Teth Adams' love for his country at the beginning and
yeah.
everything, and wanting to fulfill what his son wanted to do, Harut. So I do buy that. I buy him being the anti-hero, and I do see how he can come to blows with Black Adam or Superman, especially how they set it up with the Justice Society of America and him coming to blows because of that.
Yeah, by
Even
not
the people
killing
supported
people.
Black Adam as opposed to the Justice Society, and I thought they laid some really good groundwork on that. So I do believe how they can do that at this point.
Yeah,
I guess so.
I I feel like they're gonna just tie it in to where he needs to be stopped. He's not, he's doing it recklessly. He's saving people, but he's saving people recklessly.
Unless he goes to another rage mode.
Like Hawkeye was saying, stop killing people. You can do it's another way. It's a different way to, you know, get justice without actually hurting people. Yeah.
So I heard this comparison on another review, and it kind of nailed it. It's like if Superman had the attitude of the Punisher.
Yeah.
Mm, yep.
Like where
Literally.
they're technically a good
Doesn't give a
guy, but
fuck
they
and has
achieve
all the
it by
power.
excessive means.
You nailed it. You nailed it. He go off his own judgment. He don't care what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. As
But
long as the job get done.
do we want to do final thoughts?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, we can do final thoughts.
Because honestly, there's not a lot to this movie story wise to cover. Like, other than that Superman reveal, there weren't really any spoilers. Would you guys agree with that?
No, there was nothing that they could spoil, bro, because like you
I
said, the
mean,
universe is so skewed right now with the timeline. You don't really know where this is positioned at.
Which
Like,
I will say this, it is a Black Adam movie. It's not like it's a Superman, a Flash, a Batman, or something that needs to connect the
no,
universe. So I have to take that into account while rating this.
but they
So
did tie Superman in at the end, so they're gonna lead it. If they're gonna bring him in to tie it in enough, then you should at least follow through to make sure it correlates with
which
the storyline.
I think they kind of did because I feel like Amanda Waller is basically the Nick Fury of this universe right now.
Yeah, but how long does she stretch for? Like,
I
that's the
think
thing.
I think she'll be around for a while because I know James Gunn isn't done with like the different Suicide Squad characters, and I'm sure she's going to be connected with Peacemaker season 2 and onward,
Well,
especially
that's what
since
I'm
her
saying. Are we
daughter's
in
in
the
there.
Peacemaker series? Are we in like how far in the future or how far in the past are we? Because she's such a huge part of DC.
I think she's gonna assemble. She may make it to at least the next Justice League movie because I feel like she'll be the one assembling the Justice League for whatever threat's gonna come next. I don't think we're gonna get Darkseid anytime soon, unfortunately. But at the same time, I can see with a Superman movie us possibly getting like a Brainiac or something, which I
I
would
would love
kill for a Brainiac live action movie. Give him
Yeah.
to us. But
absolutely.
getting into my final thoughts of this, I thought it was a fun time. I love the characters. I love the action. The story wasn't there. The story was damn near non-existent. It was a very short story to where it lasted what 1 to 2 days maybe,
You
and
could
it
have
was
told the whole
really
thing real quick in like a half hour if you
it
wanted.
was it was more of an event inside of this superhero universe that they made a movie about. So I don't need there to be like these maniacal workings behind the scenes. The villain was weak. I will just come out
Oh
and say
yeah.
that how they introduced that villain at the end. I thought
Bro,
we
he
should have
looked
ended it when he got put in that chamber. I thought that would have been a better ending.
the
I think,
pillar of light.
dude, if I
Yeah.
see another beam of light as a villain, I'm gonna lose it. But I'm
Him sitting on the throne was so weak. Like that
Yeah.
being what took it.
yeah. So overall, I'm gonna have to give it
About
a C because I did have a good time with this
You
movie.
say B?
C.
Oh, I was gonna say that was high.
I did have a good time with this movie, but there's so many things that they did wrong with it. I can't just let it go by. So a C for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I don't know if I would go with C plus. I was thinking about it, but I guess it could be a C plus for like the action. So I'll say C plus, man. Only because when the action died out in the middle,
Oh,
I straight up almost fell asleep.
I
Right when
think
he went into the chamber, I was like, "Oh, that's the end of the movie. Like it's done."
even when we went to the bathrooms afterwards, I heard a few people mentioning that as well. Like right when he gets imprisoned, everybody was getting tired. They were like, "All right, is this almost over?" Because
Well,
it felt like an ending.
it was just nonstop action, 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 and then just this huge lull, like they were putting him to sleep for the rest of his life.
Is it
yeah.
just me, or did that ending with the devil character feel like it may have been reshot and added on to the movie later? Because that when he gets put into that chamber, it feels like a solid ending. And then I heard rumors that the whole Superman thing was shot like on Labor Day weekend, and I feel like they almost added that extra
The
part
whole extra part. The
just so
No,
story
that way
was
they could
pretty
add
solid
Superman and
before
him
that.
confronting each other at the end. But I don't think that's what happened, but it almost felt like that.
I was like, nah, because remember
No, we
Dr.
needed
Fate
to figure out the
kept
crown.
he kept seeing
Yeah.
it in his premonition.
It just
Dr.
Yeah.
Fate,
that ending felt unnecessary, and I feel like this could have been a better movie had it been like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, and cut that entire part out. I feel like the pacing would have been better, and I would have been a little bit happier. But that last act of him fighting the devil just took me out.
Yeah, that demon character, the CGI was really just shitty on it. Like it you couldn't have made it look worse. I feel like if you just did regular clay makeup, it probably would have done better. Like
Mhm.
the whole scene, I told you, Jordy, and you hate on the Titans series so much. That looked worse than the Titans when I was looking at it.
Yeah, but let's get
uh,
it over to Toke for his final thoughts.
I think, like I said, the dialogue, the plot wasn't there. The whole, the whole time it was just there, just brawls, action, people dying left and right. Um, I loved how they showed his fucking like him going in the tomb and then Dr. Fate reaching out to him and whatnot.
Yeah.
Dr. Fate's saying he's seen all the outcomes. He knew either he was gonna have to die. It was just like an Infinity War thing with Doctor Strange. He seen all the outcomes and the only outcome was him dying. So he knew he had to get Black Adam back out there. I give it I give it a B minus. B
Hey, there
minus.
he is.
B.
Got somebody's got to have more love for the movie than we do.
So overall, as an average,
minus.
not a C
We
plus.
are raising the bar.
C plus overall, not the worst movie, but it was a fun time. It was a fun
No,
time.
dude, it was good. Like there were real highlights of it. The action was awesome. I love seeing Doctor Fate on screen. That was the biggest highlight for me. That was bigger than seeing Black Adam to me, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
So Anybody got something to say before we sign off on this one?
Mm-mm.
No, not really. Besides, support the corp, like and subscribe. You gotta support us, man. So that's how we keep the ball rolling.
Click a
Uh,
button somewhere. You found us. Find the button.
Click
leave
on some
some
more videos.
leave some comments.
And you get to
What you
see
think.
some cool other photoshops of all of us and Eric's dog.
Yeah. Milo is making the board.
That has been the Critic Corp reviewing Black Adam. Comment below on what you liked about Black Adam, what your thoughts are on it, and let us know what movies or shows to go ahead and review. But that'll be it from us today. So long.
Say